But first up here at 6 tonight, our I-Team following through on a story that continues to get strong reaction. Good evening, everyone. I'm Paul Legrone.
And I'm Lauren St. Germain. Wendy is on assignment. Last week, our investigative reporter Adam Walser gave a voice to a homeowner in Riverview who spent a week in jail. She was arrested after what started as an HOA violation over her lawn.
And just a few days later, we introduced you to her neighbor who faced foreclosure also after what started out as HOA violations. Since then, these two stories have gone viral.
Adam has been reading through your comments and questions about HOAs, and tonight he's getting answers from experts.
These stories truly are going viral. Since the first story ran last Monday on YouTube, more than 1.1 million views, 14,000 comments. This one ran on Friday, 546,000 views and more than 5,500 comments. And of course, people are sounding off on social media as well. This one Facebook post from last week, 6,000 comments. Most people saying they don't want to live in an HOA. But if you live in Florida, that's easier said than done. Riverview homeowner Irina Green first received notices and then was served with a lawsuit over brown grass and other minor violations. When she went to court, the judge gave her an ultimatum.
My grass had to be brung up to par. He said, you can get seeds, you can do something, but you got 30 days to get it corrected. I said, fine. You know, he said, and if it's not done in 30 days, you're going to go to jail.
Green says she tried to correct her violations, but she missed her court date. A judge signed a warrant, and she was arrested and held without bond for 7 days.
I work hard to buy this home, you know, for me and my kids in a better neighborhood and environment, and to be taken to jail and to be treated like that for brown grass at my own home, you know, like it's horrible.
Shauna Cruz Munoz, who lives in the same neighborhood, says she was served with a notice about her home's paint job by her HOA.
And you painted this house how many times?
3 times since 2015.
Wow, I don't think anybody around
Nobody
here
paints their house that many times.
And then she was sued by her HOA.
You're in a situation where they're trying to take your house over legal fees.
Right. Well, they were going to put a lien on it.
And if you didn't respond, that could eventually end up at the courthouse steps, right?
Oh, at the courthouse steps. And then they would, every time they go down to like do something, they just add another fee on it, because as of December, it was only like $4,100. By the time we were done, it was at $5,100.
We received dozens of emails about HOAs, and thousands of viewers commented on Facebook or YouTube, where the stories have received nearly 2 million combined views. One person wrote, quote, "That's why I would never live in a neighborhood that has an HOA, because these types of issues and problems that may arise." Another wrote, "I'd rather live under a bridge than under an HOA." And a third viewer wrote, "Note to self, never consider buying a home that is run by an HOA." But that's easier said than done here in Florida. More than 9.5 million Floridians, about 45%, live in HOA communities. The Creekview neighborhood where Irina and Shauna live has 67 pages of covenants, conditions, and restrictions. Stetson law professor Paul Boudreau says that when homeowners and renters move in, they essentially sign a contract agreeing to comply with all of them.
When they just choose to live in an HOA, they agree to abide by all the rules of the community, including what their lawn looks like, where they can park their cars, what color paint their houses can be, and that the HOAs have the right to enforce this.
Some associations are stickler for enforcing the rules. You know, they don't really provide a lot of leeway for the residents.
Palm Beach attorney David Lair, whose law partner wrote the book Bad HOA, says it's hard to fight against HOAs because state law gives them the power to enforce their regulations through notices, fines, and even court.
What would you advise somebody who finds himself in a situation where they are getting notices of non-compliance? You can't ignore those, right?
You cannot ignore it. So that would not be my recommendation. Depending on the situation, I would at least advise my client to try and comply to the extent possible.
Lair says people should ask questions before moving into a neighborhood about the expectations of the HOA. And if you and other neighbors disagree with your HOA's board, you can vote to replace them. I'm I-Team investigator Adam Walser with photojournalist Randy Wright taking action for you.
And you can find Adam's stories on our website, abcactionnews.com. That's where you could also find a form to send Adam a message about an issue you're having with your HOA. that you think needs to be investigated. Just go to abcactionnews.com and click on our I-Team section.